Hello everyone and welcome back to my The Young and Restless 24 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Phyllis Summers will get indicted of hijacking Sharon Newman while Lily Winters goes on an awkward date. First, let's talk about Damian Kane since his continuity will pay off. Lily Winters will eventually join Damian for that regale he's been hoping for, so he'll turn on the charm. Still, Lily formerly talked about being vulnerable to Damian's tactics, so she'll keep her guard up. That won't stop Damian from flirting and putting Lily through a pop quiz about her romantic life, but she may remain cagey. Indeed so, Damian may get evidence that Lily is single and consider that the green light to pursue her indeed harder. This regale together will no doubt be a date in Damian's mind, indeed if Lily doesn't see it that way. Meanwhile, Nick Newman and Mariah Copeland will grow upset when Sharon goes missing again. It hasn't been that long since Sharon was held and turned, so it's easy to see why this would set off alarm bells. Sharon won't be in touch with her favored bones. So Nick and Mariah will supposedly state enterprises to Chance Chancellor. Chance will find Sharon's exposure strange since he's formerly probing Phyllis's enjoy evaporating act. Once Chance hints that there could be a link, Daniel Romalotti Jr. will feel skeptical. Nonetheless, Nick won't suppose it's a stretch to believe these cases are connected. After all, it's awfully odd for Phyllis to stop reaching everybody and vanish at the exact same time as Sharon. Of course, Sharon and Phyllis clearly don't get on, so Daniel will have a hard time believing they went nearly together. That's when Mariah will allude that Sharon might not have gone with Phyllis by choice. Mariah may presume that Phyllis wanted vengeance since Sharon was cleared of all charges, and that she went as far as snatching her adversary to get it. Daniel and Summer Newman may try to shut down any Phyllis kidnapper talk, but Mariah will supposedly suppose it's worth considering. We should point out that everyone in Genoa City still believes Ian Ward is deceased along with Jordan. Indeed so, our prognostications suggest that Phyllis and Sharon may have gotten tangled up in a different type of peril. Ian may not be involved for formerly, so we'll bring you updates on any wild news that's still to come. Sharon may find redemption, thanks to some heroic moves she's about to make. Sharon Newman will evaporate coming while Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson trade admissions. For starters, there'll be a concerned meeting at Crimson Lights, where Daniel Romalotti Jr. will admit that both Sharon and Phyllis Summers are missing. When Daniel wonders if Chance Chancellor thinks there's further to this, Nick will pipe up that it seems like a weird coexistence. There'll be some reservations about Sharon's evaporating act being linked to Phyllis, but it won't make important sense to Daniel. After Daniel questions why Sharon and Phyllis would go anywhere together since they detest each other, Mariah Copeland will allude that perhaps one of them didn't go willingly. Daniel and Summer Newman will presumably be offended over Mariah inferring that Phyllis might have abducted Sharon. At the same time, Summer and Daniel surely know their designing mama well enough to know you can no way take felonious conditioning off the table. Prognostications point to Sharon coming to Phyllis's deliverance or maybe working as a platoon with her. No matter what jam Sharon and Phyllis have set up themselves in, there'll be a way out of it if they stick together. Meanwhile, Damian Kane will sit down to regale with Lily Winters so she'll use this occasion to gather further intel. After Damian tells Lily about all his family drama, he'll point out he still knows veritably little about her. Damian will ask if Lily's involved with anyone romantically, so she'll scarf at that question. Although Lily will act irked by Damian's pursuit of her, he'll remain relatively interested, maybe for further reasons than one. Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson will trade admissions as they partake a private regale of their own. It might be a kindly, romantic mess grounded on Y&R's daily exercise videotape, which shows Adam reflecting on how far they've come with a red rose between them. Look at us, who allowed that we'd be then? Adam asks in the promo clip. Chelsea replies with "It's surely not me" before giving Adam a tender look. It's possible this will be another one of Adam's dreams, but it's also possible he'll make some genuine progress with Chelsea. Adam and Chelsea may not completely cross back over into romantic home just yet, but they'll make some admissions about the changes in their relationship and move in the right direction. Chelsea and Adam will still have a lot to figure out, so stay tuned for updates on any big news about their love lives. Summer Newman will run into Kyle Abbott's arms, so Claire Newman will cloud over the spouses hugging. At Crimson Lights, Claire will give Kyle some air capsules as a gift to apologize for Victor Newman's jest. Kyle will worry that at some point, Claire's going to decide she's had enough and that their relationship isn't worth it. Still, Claire formerly endured times of Jordan telling her what to do and how to feel. After Claire assures Kyle that she won't let Victor do the same thing, she'll promise she's not going anywhere. As Summer walks in, she'll shoot Phyllis Summers another concerned textbook. Summer will admit to Kyle that her mama's missing and fall into his arms for a comforting grasp. Grounded on Claire's expression, she surely wouldn't be pleased about the spouses hugging. Kyle will hear about the whole Phyllis situation and prompt Summer to stay auspicious since it could be nothing. Talk will ultimately turn to Kyle and Claire's regale with Victor and Nikki Newman, so Summer will pick up on the fact that it didn't go well. Since Summer will assume this is Claire's first romantic relationship, she'll suggest it must stink having Victor as a grandpa, at least in this case. Of course, Summer wouldn't be suitable to repel mentioning that Victor no way had a problem with her own relationship with Kyle. Summer will make a vaticination about Victor not stopping until he gets what he wants, by tearing Claire and Kyle piecemeal. Still, Kyle and Claire will make it clear that they've no intention of letting Victor ail their happiness. At Nate Hastings' place, Damian Kane will request some time alone with Amy Lewis. That'll lead to Damian asking what Amy wants and expects from him. Amy will suggest she just wants remission and the stopgap of Damian having his family to lean on when she's gone. Damian will want to concentrate on the two of them for a moment and will suspect Amy really wants him to stay with her until the end of her life. Amy will ultimately wonder what she did to wrathfulness Damian this important, so he'll blurt out that she let his father die. Damian will rant about Amy getting cold and detached when they were so close to losing Jackson. Since Damian had to face all that alone, he'll begrudge Amy for going to work as usual. Amy will confess they didn't have insurance due to Jackson letting the policy lapse, so she picked up an redundant job to try and pay the bills. Jackson also wanted them to be strong, so Amy will admit that she would have fallen piecemeal if she'd tried to be there for Damian back also. Although Damian wouldn't be ready to move past everything that happened, especially now that he knows Jackson wasn't his natural father, he'll still grant Amy's request for a clinch. At the Newman estate, Victor will give Lily updates on all his Damian exploration. Although Damian putatively had a gradational rise in the commercial world, Victor will admit the companies he owns were formerly established. Plus, Damian was only granted power on paper since the real proprietor is someone named Aristotle Dumas, a mysterious man who keeps a low profile. Although Victor no way met Aristotle, he'll admit he's heard of him. Lily will realize there's another link to the Count of Monte Cristo since the author's name was Alexander Dumas. No matter what happens in the fiscal requests, Aristotle always seems to come out on top, which could point to some suspicious exertion. Despite Victor's questions, Lily will be fugitive about why she wanted Victor to look into Damian. At the GCAC, Damian will impinge into Nate, who'll wonder how his discussion went with Amy. After Damian acknowledges that they said some effects that demanded to be said, Nate will give him a drive toward remission. Lily will pop up ultimately, so Nate will realize that she's formerly met Damian. Once Nate heads home and checks on an emotional Amy, he'll assure her that Damian will come around. Coming on Friday's Y&R occasion, Lily will quiz Damian about how effects went with his mama, so he'll suggest she has to have regale with him to find out. After Lily accepts the assignation, it'll bring a smile to Damian's face. Back with Victor, he'll pound over Aristotle Dumas and get Michael Baldwin on the phone since he'll have another job for him. Michael may uncover some surprising Aristotle news soon enough, so stay tuned. Kyle Abbott is falling hard for Claire Newman, but what about Summer Newman and the love they used to partake? Who does Kyle truly belong with, Summer, Claire, or someone differently? Kyle and Claire are happy for the utmost part, but Victor Newman's disapprobation of their relationship could be their downfall. The show's also stirring up enterprises about jealous Summer's sabotage, so that could be another big problem. Still, Summer is substantially just an annoying busybody in this story so far. Summer and Victor feel like unlawful obstacles that Kyle and Claire need to overcome. With that in mind, it's possible that Claire and Kyle will conquer the challenges ahead of them. There may be some bleak moments, and perhaps indeed a temporary split, but there's a chance Kyle and Claire have come the couple to root for. That said, this plot feels analogous to one that played out in the history. Back when Kyle tried to move himself, he was meant to be with Lola Rosales. Lola was put on a perfect pedestal while Summer was the problematic schemer. Kyle couldn't fight his true passions, and eventually ended up back with Summer, since fate has a way of reuniting them over and over. Now that Summer and Kyle are co-parents to Harrison Abbott, they've another reason to get pulled back together. Still, also Kyle isn't done with Summer for good, if history is any suggestion. Victor may be right about Summer always coming first, so maybe that's a fact that Claire will have to accept down the road. This Claire, Kyle, and Summer love triangle is surely going to toast up in the coming occurrences. Do you suppose Kyle is meant to be with Claire, or should he reunite with Summer? Of course, if you are an addict of either pairing, perhaps you suppose Kyle should be paired up with someone differently, or indeed packed out screen. Kyle's romantic life is taking center stage thanks to all the drama that's washing up, so stick with us for further prognostications on what's in store for him. Kyle may have to make some updates to his perspective along the way, so stay tuned for news on how that'll affect Claire and Summer.